hey, it's Sean Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you wanna hear. Former badge, now a podcast star. Navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah! Ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you wanna hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie.
What's shaking, everybody? Happy Tuesday. It's 10 a.m. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, whether anyone wants to hear from me or not. So much to catch up on. It seems like it's been too long since we've had a chat. It's been a week. We were here on Wednesday night with my buddy John. We had technical difficulties, but we're back and everything seems to be working well. And then there's Rogers. And I want to talk about Rogers. I'm not wearing this red shirt because I rep Rogers. No, I currently have Rogers service at my home. And I was kind of upset that my price went up. See, if you don't pay attention to your bills, you get screwed like I did. You see, I saw the bump in price. And it was like $5. And then I looked back again. It was like $50. My promotional period expired. And they raised the price to above retail and didn't, tell me. And that's what they're probably not telling you either. So from me to you, make sure you check your bills on a regular basis. Don't get scammed, even though I was getting a promotion that expired. It's totally my fault. Don't be like me. Make sure you don't waste the money. I did call them. Actually, I didn't call them. I texted them. I had a chat with a person because there's nobody who answers the telephone anymore anywhere. So I spoke to them and on a new promotion, and I'm actually paying less for more. Yay. They're going to ship me a new modem, and hopefully that makes not only this less expensive to produce in terms of a show, but I should get a little more speed, which will likely not be more speed, but at least I'll save $20 a month. And if you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, please ask away. That's what I'm here to talk about, not just internet speeds, although, it's on my mind. It's Black Friday coming up. There's all sorts of deals to be had. Just have to ask for them. And I'm going to be on all sorts of platforms, or I am on currently a whole bunch of platforms. Let me see. Why does this say it's recording? Okay, good. It's not recording. I thought I had local. We had some technical difficulties. I'm trying to iron those out. So if I'm laggy or this audio gets messed up, please let me know so I know what to look at, to fix it. We got questions from D-Rock on TikTok. And just to let you know, we are on a bunch of platforms, 9 in total, currently on Rumble, Twitch, Kick, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, X if it's working, because there's been a whole Cloudflare outage across the planet. And then, of course, TikTok. And TikTok is where we are, usually shown the most love. But, things have been weird lately. If you're on TikTok, please tap the screen till your fingers go numb. It really helps people know where we is. And we is here. We got Randy McNaught, who says, Good Tuesday morning and the rest of the day, Sean. Greetings from London, Ontario. I can even put that on screen. Look at that. Former officer and friend to the show who to share his thoughts, his questions, his stuff and things, and we appreciate him. We got Paul who says, "Hello, Sean." And of course, we've got Julie who says, "Good morning, Sean." And good morning to you, Julie. We've got lots of folks who come in. The Real Walker Texas Ranger jumped in on Instagram. Riz Vision is on Instagram and wants to know what are the top worst traffic stops you had in your career. I have no idea. Worst traffic stops? I don't know. It's such an interesting question. Worst in what way? Like worst horrific? Worst? Like I had one where I pulled a guy over. I just want to come to mind. I pulled over somebody for an offense, and the returns on the vehicle came back after I already said goodbye, and he was a wanted guy, and I lost out on the opportunity, and I would have loved to have arrested him. That's one that's memorable, but I don't know. I got some funny ones. We'll have to talk about that another time. We have what do we have here? Oh, Walker Texas Ranger says, "Hey Sean, I need your opinion. What are your thoughts on drivers who stop no crosswalk intersection, etc., to let pedestrians cross the road? I feel it's unsafe when the car in front of you suddenly stops." Well, suddenly is the key. Yes, stopping in the middle of the road for no good reason is dangerous. And when you stop to let someone out or you stop for a pedestrian, you think you're doing a great thing, and what you're doing is becoming a hazard to others. So I'm not a big fan of it either. I don't like it. Apparently there's some internet. The Instagram stream is apparently glitchy, according to Texas Ranger. Avandro Toronto, what's going on, brother? Bizarro Sonia. I didn't see him on Sunday because I didn't go on Sunday. I celebrated my dad's birthday instead. So I have to reach out to him today. Bizarro had asked me a question. I have to follow up. JT, good to see you, brother. Let's see here. We've got Evan New 45 wants to know my opinion on Surons. I think they're really cool off-road motorcycles, but they're not e-bikes and they're not legal road. Suron makes a high-powered electric motorcycle that's lightweight and capable of extreme speeds. And one of them is even, maybe it's two of them, the Super B, maybe, is marketed as an e-bike. At least it's as a legal street, and it's not. It's absolutely not legal in the province of Ontario. User many numbers says, "How fast should you be going in the left lane on the highway?" Come back just 1 second. At first, I just wanted their sponsors to the show along with law and law firms and others sponsor the show to keep going. But in particular, for traffic safety, you do the head of the large firm. They have a lot of lawyers. I went to for a second. I went to the and magical and as he approached, and I'm associated with the point. Put the wrap on. We have let's see. When we do this, there we go. That's the appropriate backdrop for today's show. You know, I had the After Dark get up going, and this is the one that I use for daytime, and no one said nothing. That's okay. Let me turn that off because it's redundant. Beautiful. Okay, now with the appropriate backdrops in play, let's get back into the show. I did see a little alert, so there's still something quirky going on. I'm not sure why. Apparently YouTube is choppy too. I don't know what's going on. It might be due to this Cloudflare outage. It's really disturbing when things don't go right. Bugs me. The audio is terrible on all platforms. Let's see if we can figure that out. That's great. It's great when that happens. Stand by. Let's see what's going on. Microphone should be good. Let's see where we're getting audio inputs from here. Yeah. Okay. Don't know why we're having issues today, but apparently we're still having them. So let me know if that improved anything. I flipped the switch. And X is not working. Thank you for Ian for checking. X has been down for most of the day. And YouTube is choppy. Oh yeah, I'm seeing major choppiness. What is up with that? So Ian says there's a big outage affecting all major platforms. You'd be better off on ham radio 20 meters. Audio's fine, just a lot of lagging. Okay, that's from IG. Very strange. Either way, we'll keep it going. This show is rebroadcast or re-uploaded to podcast platforms, so you can synchronize it and listen later on your own device, whether it be with or without video. It allows you to, with audio-only versions, listen legally while you drive. And if the video becomes too unbearable, I understand. Download it later. Oh, apparently Ian says that the YouTube has smoothed out. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on, but expect some rocky roads when we deal with the technical difficulties impacting the planet today. Maybe this new Rogers plan will increase the speeds. I highly doubt it. What should is running a physical cable for the internet, because I'm currently using Wi-Fi, which is really a bad deal, but it's always been running and running smoothly. So what has changed? I do not know. If you got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, drop them in the comments. There's things to talk about. What they are, we don't know until you ask them. Okay, so user lots of numbers had asked, what is the speed you should be going when you are on the highway in the left lane? You should be doing the speed limit and no more, because you're not allowed to exceed the posted speed limit, even in the left lane, even whilst passing. Now, we know that never happens. So what you should be doing is, if you're doing the speed limit or below, you should stay to the right. You should let the bozos who want to break the law go to the left. And I say bozos with love. There's lots of them out there. And obviously not everybody who speeds is a bad person. They're just making poor choices. Speeding is not safe. It's not legal, and you shouldn't be doing it. Steve says, everything fun in Canada is illegal. You know, we have legal cannabis, right? Yeah, you have legal cannabis. I think it smells like a dog's asshole, but that's just me. I'm not a fan of cannabis. Anyway, the fact is that it might be legal to consume. You're not allowed to drive whilst under the influence of it. So that's a thing. But you can do lots of things that are fun and legal. You don't have to break the law. And Tracy, our moderator, quite rightly had posted speed limit in response to what do you do in the left lane. Rusty says, must the vehicle be stopped until the pedestrian is all the way off the road? And then said there was some crackling. So the answer is, if we're talking about a crosswalk, let's break this down. If you are in a crosswalk at a signalized intersection, then you have to yield to them. But once they pass your half of the road, you're no longer required to wait for them to get off the road, unless there is a crossing guard present. And crossing guards are magical human beings who make the road safer for everybody, at least in the region, in the area that they are working. I'm so thankful that we have a crossing guard at my child's school. Now we're talking about pedestrian crossovers, then yes, with or without a crossing guard, you must wait until all persons have left the roadway before continuing through. But where else are we talking about? Is there somewhere else other than those two scenarios? Let me know. Owen says, what are the chances I'll be pulled over in my bone stock Civic with temp tags? I couldn't tell you. Statistics that when you see temp tags, you pull them over to investigate further. They can run the plate and see if it's valid or not. But if you're running with temp tags beyond the 10 days, then you may in fact be pulled over and charged. Ollie, push me trolley, or push my trolley. When you say Ollie, it makes sense to have me trolley. But anyway, for you personally, does someone have to be going a certain number over before you pull them over? Well, I'm a former police officer, so it doesn't matter what they're doing. I'm not pulling anybody over anymore. But the truth is that if you are speeding, and for me, the magic number changed based on the roadway I was enforcing traffic on. I pulled someone over for 10 over if there was nothing else to pull over on a 60. So if you're doing 70 to 60, it was worthy of a conversation on a slow day. But if it was a busy day with lots of speeders, then I would charge someone at 15 over. And if it was faster than that, well, then we had more things to talk about. And very often it was a stunt driving charge where I was, impounding their car and suspending their license. So in a 30 kilometer an hour zone, I don't need to wait until 10 kilometers over to pull you over for a warning. And certainly I would charge someone for 10 over in a 30, because it's 25% over the limit. And 25% over the limit was my magic number for charges at full price. In other words, I wouldn't reduce something at 25% over the limit. And I don't think you need to. There's no excuse in that says you can speed in a 30 and do 25 over the limit or more. In fact, the math is more than 25 over. It's 40 would be 25 over 10. Anyway. Sherry Ann Moraine followed. Thanks for the follow. Please share with your friends, and please go to YouTube and follow VoiceOver Cop on YouTube. We're almost at 1,000 followers, and that is helpful because once we hit 1,000, we're qualified for some other stuff in terms of support and benefits from YouTube. And I'd like that. Know that you can also hit up askatrafficcop.ca. If you go to the website, you can leave me voicemail. I get voicemail. I respond by voicemail, and I can actually use those in the show, although I haven't had a lot of call to use those clips in the show. They've been questions that were either too personal or didn't want to identify the caller, but it's kind of cool that you can leave me a voicemail message. All right, let's see what we got here. Ian says, my mother lives in a 30-kilometer-an-hour zone, and her street is like a drag strip. Well, here's a question. Here's a discussion, definitely. No more speed enforcement, at least no more automated speed enforcement. Last week, Friday in particular, marked the last day in Ontario. So the speed's gone up. I'm certainly seeing faster speeds everywhere. The fear is gone. Thanks to Premier Ford and his peeps, there is no fear on the road at the moment. The people know there's nobody enforcing law in terms of being everywhere all the time, and they're willing to take the chance with police possibly catching them. And yeah, there's speed bumps and there's some speed humps, but I can tell you that people are going faster over those too, because I see them. It's not this feeling I get. I'm witnessing it. I want to know what you're seeing. Is everyone going faster in your neighborhood? I think they are. Let me know in the comments. Okay. What do we got here? We got. Should I get a dash cam or not worth it? That's Stature Flex. 150%. Every vehicle on the road should have a dash cam. I have one on my vehicle. My buddy John has one on his motorcycle, his car. I think everyone should be recording everything all the time because that is the way to capture the truth. If you're being accused of something, that camera is going to defend you. And if you're doing something wrong, it's going to convict you. But the chances of you being involved in a collision that is 100% your fault, if you're following the rules, is unlikely. Either way, the truth is the truth, and there's no escaping it. It's just that when it goes against you, like when you're in a collision and there's no witnesses and it's the other person's fault, that the lack of evidence by way of video could screw you. Could be in a situation where you have 50-50 fault determination when really it was 100% their fault. So dash camera, you can get it's. I'll put more links on for Black Friday. I've got an Amazon affiliate thing going on, so I can recommend some stuff. You go to askatrafficcop.ca. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you buy from a link on our website, if you buy from Amazon or anywhere, go find a deal like $30-$40. You should be able to get a camera that's competent. $30-$40 is a very small investment. I put $500 into my camera twice because my first camera failed after a year and the warranty was over. But anyway, and I've had multiple cameras over the years and kept them going until they broke. I have friends that have better luck with me than cameras. Their cameras have worked for 10 years. Mine, I've replaced. I'm on my third camera. Either way, the one collision I had in 2018 was before I installed a camera. I had another one in 2023. I was rear-ended. In between waiting to install my new camera after the old camera failed. Apparently, if I don't put a camera in my car, I get into a crash. If I have a camera, I seem to have good luck. Maybe that works for you too. All right, let's see. Let's try that again. Hawks Custom Ceramic joined. What's going on? Good to see you back. Apparently, ceramic coating on your motorcycle. Hawks Custom Ceramic is the place to go. Friend, not a sponsor, but I plug those who are good peeps because they're good peeps. Okay. Evandro Toronto says, good morning, your fan watching again. My Brazilian, oh good, he corrected himself and reposted saying, good morning, your Brazilian fan is watching again. And it's good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. First week without a coach officer. I'm excited to hear the feedback. Yes, we have some great success stories of fans of the show who have gone on to become police officers, are now trolling the streets in their communities, making everyone safer, better, and more magical. More magical today is Mickey Mouse's birthday. Did you know that? Yes, November 18th, whatever year, I have no idea, is his birthday, and it's a day to celebrate the magicness. Now, I'm not into all the political stuff that's, you can like Disney, you can hate Disney, you can be woke, you can be not. I don't care. I like the mouse. The mouse is good. Happy birthday, Mickey Mouse. All right, let's see what else is going on. Here we got is oh, this is mandatory beat says if just getting a flash of lights warning from a cop for going 135 and an 80 considered lucky. Oh, is getting, not if getting. Uh yeah, I mean you are very lucky in that you were eligible for a fantastic charge of stunt driving. You should have lost your license in your vehicle. It would have been like 2 grand to start the conversation. Then you would have been looking at two to $10,000 on conviction and up to 6 months in jail. Not to mention a 1 to 3 year driving prohibition on conviction, in addition to everything you'd served. So stunt driving is no joke. You should not drive like that because it's dumb. Really, really, really. I got a shout out to TURF, the Traffic Injury Research Foundation, and my friend Robin, who's the boss lady there. If you go to their website, turf.ca, they have a great blog post talking about the automated speed enforcement and that speed kills. And they talk about the fact that speed actually kills. And folks want to argue it all over the place and talk about the Autobahn and blah, blah, blah. They are saying in this blog everything I say every day. Yes, it's awesome. Go check it out. Uh, Oh, Ian's mom street has can't have photo radar. Well, nobody's can. But they did install some speed bumps, but it's still a drag strip, I'm assuming, despite the fact that they have the bumps. And Dave Price says, I agreed on the whole dash cam biz. They have a front and back camera. I have a front and back camera too. I would like a 4K. What do I have? I have a high, I definitely maybe I have 4K in the front and 720 in the back. Either way, I would like bigger, badder. I want 3D. I want to be able to read the pimples on someone's face, like tea leaves in the morning. I want to be able to see as much as possible because very often the lower quality cameras have a great image of somebody was there that ran into you, but when the going gets tough, the tough don't have license plates. No, wait, hang on a second. It doesn't have enough information, is what I'm saying. By the way, does anyone know who sang when the going gets tough? I'll give you a hint. His first name starts with B, or at least his stage name. Big Jeff Fresh, what's going on, brother? Big Jeff Fresh, haven't seen you in a while. He's on Twitch. Says good morning. Good morning to you. Oh yeah, I can actually put Big Fresh right there on the screen. Definitely lagging. Maybe I need to reinstall OS on this computer. I am not happy with this. Stephen Bell says, yeah, hi, good morning. Hi, good morning to you too. Oh, and Dave says he just followed on YouTube after suggesting that on TikTok. Thank you very much. Oz, appreciate it. Okay. What do we got here? We got stuff and things. If you're watching and you're new to the show, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And we're sponsored by magical people who believe in traffic safety. And I'm talking about the magical folks at Diamond and Diamond. They are here and care about traffic safety. They also happen to be Canada's largest, personal injury law firm. They help people get paid when bad stuff happens to them. That's not their fault. I'm sure they do lots of things for lots of people, but I'm really appreciative because I've been the victim of a collision and I did not like it. It's not fun, and I got hurt, and it changed my life. And if you're in that situation and you're looking for help, you go to people who know what they're doing, and that's them. All right. What we got here? We got Ian who says crazy drivers in hopped up cars and those BMWs with popping mufflers. What is that? Turbos depressurizing? Popping mufflers is not turbos. Overflow valves is turbos. The farting mufflers is usually X in the exhaust system that hasn't spent and it ignites late. And it sounds ridiculous, but some people think it sounds cool. They're wrong. It might sound cool while acne is a problem, but as you grow up, it's really not. It's just annoying. To all those who love their fart can mufflers, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. You're entitled to do what you want, and you're also entitled to get tickets if you're issued them. But it's not on me. It's that I don't do that anymore. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Instagram may have gone down. We'll see. We just lost the page. I was about to read some stuff, but Instagram, maybe I can get back into it. And hearing back how the heck do I mute this? Oh, this sucks. All right, I'm gonna close this window because I don't want to hear myself. Um It looks like there's no mute button. The creator window is not working. So I can't, whatever happened, they crashed. Maybe they have a Cloudflare issue. If you want to ask questions, Instagram is no longer the place for, not for this live. I can't seem to get back into where I need to be. If I press live video, what happens then? Oh, I got back to where I needed to be. Okay, cool. I didn't know I could do that. I did miss a couple of questions. Evandra says Instagram is okay. Thank you very much. And for the folks who are watching there, I can still get your messages. I didn't expect that to work. Amazing. Let's see here. The little notification thing. Excellent. Excellent. Big Jeff Fresh, I'd asked how he was doing. He says, I'm doing all right. Thank you. So I was driving the other day when I saw what looked to be a very small car. Turns out it was a four-wheeled mobility scooter made by Evoke that caps at 29 kilometers an hour. Very interesting and gave me a giggle. You should also be giggling because that's not a legal mobility scooter. That's a car. This whole keeping under 30 kilometers an hour to make it a mobility scooter doesn't work. A proper mobility scooter, I think, has to be no more than 12 kilometers an hour. These small mobility scooters aren't mobility scooters. They're just being sold to make money. People taking advantage might get screwed as the purchaser of said vehicle. You can't go shopping in the aisles of Walmart with it. It's not a mobility scooter. Yeah. Let's see here. Green Stride says, I wish there was a law where trucks only stay in the right lane. There kind of sort of is. They can't be in the left lane. In fact, the first two lanes are not for commercial use. However, I don't think it's widely enforced. Definitely, they can't be in the left lane. And police do, on occasion, when they have enough time to focus on it, enforce those laws. They tend to focus on the highest, most egregious offenses instead of that. K Steph 22 wants to know if cops can detect radar detectors. Well, first of all, how many people actually use radar these days? Moving radar is something we do use, which is the only thing you'd be able to detect with a radar detector. Most of the time we're using laser, and a laser device is light. There's no radar waves to be detected. So can police detect a detector? Yes, there are devices that will respond or alert when a detector will alert that a detector is active, because generally speaking, there is a beam that has to be interfered with. So it's actually transmitting, and that is readable. In addition to that, there's this magical thing that doesn't require any technology, and it's our eyes and observational skills. And we press the button on a device that emits a radar signal, and we see someone slam on the brakes, or we press the laser device and someone slams on the brakes. It's like a remote control. That is an indicator. Now, we also get errors on our devices when people use jammers and other kinds of technology to try and get away with speeding. You're going to get caught. And when police suspect, at least in Ontario, if we suspect that you have a device that interferes with enforcement, well, we can stop, search, and seize the device from the vehicle. And sometimes that means using a screwdriver to pull stuff apart. $170 fine and 2 demerit points. Just saying. That's just for having the device. Hayden and Dave and Rusty. Hang on a second. I'm scrolling back. Oh. Ollie says, I'm from the UK. Have you ever seen police interceptors where only certain officers are pursuit trained? Oh. All officers have training in pursuits, and most of that is to don't get involved with pursuits. They're expensive when you get sued. So the truly pursuit training, where you can only be involved in a pursuit if you have certain we all have the same training. There might be advanced training. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's get. You got a lot of stuff came in here. Okay, there we go. Northern Bear 67 says, if there's a detour and transports have to go down a road marked no big trucks, is it okay to do so? If you're being forced to detour there, I would say you have no other option. They can't just turn you around in the middle of the road. So if the road closures are sending you that route, I would say that supersedes. This is logic, not official reading of law, but I would say it would be logical, and any police officer who would be enforcing the no truck rule would have to then explain to the courts why they were sitting there and doing enforcement when their colleagues or the city have routed all traffic in that direction. It would have to supersede. Untested in court by me, but I'm pretty reasonable. If I was a justice of the peace sitting on the bench, hearing evidence that I got a ticket for driving a truck, or that you got a ticket for driving a truck down a road where everyone was being forced and you had no choice but to use that road, I don't think that would be something conviction would be appropriate. I think that would be thrown out. Officers should know better if they're writing tickets for that. Now, you have to also understand that those truck routes or no truck routes apply unless there's business to be done on that road. So let's say you had a semi that needed to deliver a refrigerator to that house on the street with a no truck route. Well, it's no truck for driving on, but if you have to do business there, a garbage truck has to go pick up garbage in front of that house. It's still a truck and it's allowed to go there. So there you go. DM says, can plates be flagged by the LPR system that makes police want to pull you over every single time? Yeah, so ALPR system is simply an automatic license plate reader. It reads and then it sends a response. If the response that comes back when the ALPR triggers is one that you're on a list, whether it be because you're wanted, because your plates are invalid, because there's something that is flagged, the police get a flag. They get a little sound. I actually have the audio file somewhere here. And when you hear that sound, you look down and there's a big zoomed in picture of your license plate saying, pull that guy over. So usually it's something more serious, but it could be anything, because technically speaking, they can program the system to alert on an expired license, like anything. Okay. James Bradley would like to know if I am a Canadian. I am Canadian. Born, raised, served, and still live in Canada. I am here. But yeah, are you Canadian? I should have a big Canadian flag on the screen. Although then I feel like today that makes it political. I don't know. I love the flag. I served it. I was on my uniform. But in some of my videos, when it's very specific information, I tend to put it on there. But I try and not make things political. Anyway, MT followed the host. Thanks for the follow. Dave said, "Be right back." LOL. RJC, let's poke the bear. You ever wished you? Did you ever wish you joined the fire department? I've made the comment. I don't really want to be a hose monkey. I've never wanted to run up a flight of stairs wearing all sorts of gear and carry a hose or yeah. I make fun of them. I love them. I have many friends who are fire department members or fire members, firefighters. They do something that I don't want to do, and power to them. I did something they don't want to do. Otherwise, they would have done it. It is sometimes, the fuel of jealousy when everyone loves the fire department and they have these calendars and they get to work out and have naps and sleepovers and they cook. Every time I investigated a collision involving the fire department, they fed me really well, whether they were making pizza, pasta. I went to one firehouse in Toronto that had just saved a cheese shop, a cheese and anyway, they had a charcuterie board that was the size of my kitchen table that was delivered to their firehouse as a thank you. Now, oddly enough, more often than not, when I investigated a collision for a fire department, it was as a result of them going shopping to make the food that they then served me while I was doing the collision report. They would make a turn into a driveway and just clip a car that was parked nicely. And, it is what it is. But love fire. I really didn't want to be a firefighter. But I often joked about the fact that I would have, been more friendly or been liked. It would have been a friendlier career because people like you. All right, on with that. Oh, Rogue Jaguar says, could you please let us know regarding the speed cameras? Are they going to be removed? Rogue Jaguar, I don't think they're physically removing them. I don't think there's anything in the plans, but they're no longer active. And Diego Craft, Diego one, I don't know how to pronounce your username, says, hi, I'm from Brazil. Hello. We have other Brazilian people in the room. You can talk to each other. What do we got here? Okay, we can slide over here back to Restream, which is Restream is the host that allows us to be on multiple channels. If you do want to get into Restream and multi broadcasting, I have a referral link on my trafficcop.ca link tree. If you go to the bottom, I've got links to that. If you want to use Restream, I've got a link to that too. Gets you a discount. I should promote those things more. They're really great software packages. I like them. They make it possible. I really want to figure out why we're glitchy today, because we were glitchy last time too, but we weren't glitchy the time before that. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, and I answer your traffic police questions. Think of me as your to the Highway Traffic Act and just logical driving. Am I opinionated? Yeah. Am I biased? Absolutely. But I'll tell you from a police perspective what's going on, and I think that's helpful. And if you do, please like, follow, share. And if you're on TikTok in particular, please tap the screen till your fingers go numb. It helps bring people to the party. And the more people in this party, the better the questions get. They're more, they're unique, stuff you didn't even know you wanted the answer to. Someone answers it and you go, I never knew that, because you don't know what you don't know. And that takes a lot to know that you don't know what you don't know. Lauren says, I feel like texting and driving is getting insane. I'm stopped and always see people doing it. Lauren, you're 100% right. Texting and driving, using your device, whether it be just holding it in what people call hands-free when it is in their hand and it's not free of their, anyway, it's a huge problem. People are addicted to their devices. Fear of missing out or the need. Yeah, people need to put it in the trunk. Now, I recently, not by choice, but I recently got wireless CarPlay. I did this because when I upgraded to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I was crashing my head unit. My vehicle's in-car infotainment system would crash after 30 seconds of being plugged in. I think it's drawing too much power and it doesn't like my 2017 head unit. Anyway, I had a wireless CarPlay unit that I never really used because it's laggy and I don't like it. But now I'm using it. And the reason I bring this up is it allows me to put my phone in the trunk. Like, it doesn't have to be anywhere near me. There is no desire to touch it. Well, I don't touch it anyway. But if you have a problem, use wireless CarPlay or a wireless CarPlay adapter. Put that device far away from you and take it away from the chance, the temptation. If you use the screen on the screen, like the car screen, it's not illegal. Still distraction. Doesn't qualify for the same charges. All right. Can a vehicle block a sidewalk even if they're delivering food or moving furniture? I see it a lot. Block a sidewalk? Like drive up on the sidewalk? People do it all the time. Is it legal? No. Parking enforcement will come there if they're aware of it or if they witness it and then lay a charge because you shouldn't be on the sidewalk. There's no parking there. No. And they think they're going to get away with something because they're not blocking the roadway. And listen, if you're putting two tires up and you're getting out of the way, is it courtesy on a skinny road? Yeah. Have I done it? Absolutely. Is it illegal? Also, yeah, not legal. It's not legal. Last night, I was at reason I became weird stuff going on the stream. Apparently, we lost connection. Don't know what it didn't interfere with the stream. I honestly don't know what's going on with the stream. And yeah, and last time, but it's better than last time. Got all fuzzy wuzzy, low weird stuff. Okay. Yeah, I got to do some reporting to the powers. I think it's got to be this Cloudflare thing, or just the entire internet is failing. Rogue Jaguar says a big thank you for all the info you provide. My pleasure, and thank you very much. Last night, I ran into someone who used to watch the show when I was with the Toronto Police. Shout out to them. I was out with my business partner talking about stuff and things, and as I got up to put my jacket on and say goodbye, he says, "Excuse me, are you that guy?" And we proceeded to have a brief conversation about stuff and things. Apparently, he'd been in the live stream talking about license plates at one time or another. So he was the recipient of a challenge coin because whenever I have one on me and I run into someone who knows the show, I give out a coin or a sticker or something. It was cool meeting someone who watched the show. Okay, Riz Vision says, if you could be a character in any story universe, which would it be? It doesn't have to be cinematic universe or a comic book universe. It doesn't have to be. What universes are there left? I just want to be able to fly because I can't stand being stuck in traffic. So I don't know what I haven't really given this much thought. So Superman would work. I'd be okay with being a Superman character. But I really haven't given this a lot of thought. Judge Dredd, is he part of one of the universes or is he just a solo character? He rides a motorcycle and has a cool helmet. Evandro says Diego provides tactical instruction to police officers in Brazil and is one of the best I know. Did we meet at the training event? Maybe I met Diego. Okay, very cool. And y'all know each other. Apparently, all the Brazilians in the audience know each other, and there's two of them, so you have to know each other. What do we got here? Dave says, I have one front and back. They aren't expensive at all. That's in relation to the dash camera discussion. There's no reason that every vehicle shouldn't have a dash camera. Some lawyers will say, well, you might be, capturing evidence that could hurt you. You could, but you could also choose to drive lawfully. And then chances are you're catching the evidence that will exonerate you. There's always choices, but having cameras, the best way to go. Both in my opinion, as a former police officer and just as an individual has had, collisions because when it's not your fault. I love the story that that Murray, Sergeant Campbell, gives, because he was driving into the police station and the car in front of him reversed into him because he was a civilian. He wasn't supposed to be there. And he was trying to get into the employee access. Anyway, he backed into him despite the fact that Murray was honking. So what happened? The insurance company said, well, you got to pay a deductible. And he said, but the guy backed into me. He says, but you got to pay a deductible. He says, but I have the dash camera. And he provided the dash camera footage, and instantly they waived the deductible because it wasn't his fault. And that's where you need independent evidence that said not at faultness. I like that, not at faultness. It's like spill-prooficity. It's a long story, by the way. Hayden says, Sean, what do you think about the use of flock cameras in the United States? You're the second person to bring up flock recently. Thanks for the question, Hayden. So I was recently speaking at the Ontario Traffic Council School Zone Safety Symposium last week in Mississauga. And what a great event. I really wish I could have spent the entire day there, but I ended up coming in, hearing a little bit of a presentation, doing my bit, and then hearing a little bit of a presentation. Then I had to go. That was the day of the Chiefs Gala in Toronto in support of, Victim Services Toronto. But anyway, another story. We'll talk more about that event. It was pretty awesome. Anyway, what is the point? Flock. This is where they put cameras up all over the place, and they can essentially track people's movements because they're registering or ALPRing vehicles entering and moving around the city. So if someone pulls onto, a shopping mall that has flock cameras, it registers it being there, and they all talk to each other. So they, I think this is great. I'm not too worried about people knowing where I'm going and coming from, especially if that's good people doing good things, trying to find bad guys. If it's being misused and spying on you, less good. But if you're a criminal, we should spy on criminals, right? I don't believe in this whole criminals have rights too thing. I mean, they have rights, but I don't think they should be having the right to flee from police and harm other people. So that's my take on flock. If there's more to it, please let me know. Yeah. Statute flex, statute. I screwed up your name. Statuture. I don't read it. Okay. I don't know what they were 250, but we'll move on. Sab Hart says, if you buy a vehicle from someone, are you able to drive it home with your plates from your old car? This is a great question. And they're talking about from Marketplace or Kijiji, not a dealership. The vehicle must be insured. And chances are it's not. Chances are. And if you drive that vehicle without insurance, you're in big trouble. But let's just talk about the license plates and assume that we have insurance. If your license plates are unattached status, meaning you got rid of your old car, you took the plates off your old car legally, not just unscrewed them, and then you are driving home with these plates that are unattached status, you have 6 days. 6 days to take your insured new vehicle that you've just signed over and transfer it. Now, my opinion is this. Don't bother with that. Yes, you have the option of 6 days with the unattached status plates with a fit for the road vehicle that is insured. It allows you to get it home. Your better option is to meet the seller at the closest Ministry of Ontario office or Service Ontario office, transfer the ownership there, and it's done. You get your temporary plates or you get your plates transferred. Where people get really into trouble is they unscrew the plates from their Honda Civic that they haven't sold yet, that's still insured and attached to the other vehicle. Want to take it home, and they get pulled over for vehicles plates that don't match, and it's a bunch of charges. So I wouldn't do that. You can't legally do it, but I wouldn't do it legally. Okay. RJC says, PD or FD, we love the two. We love the two naps and a barbecue. Yes, police departments and fire departments both love barbecues, but police departments rarely get to have naps, sadly. Tracy says, tap the screen, folks. Yes, please send more likes our way. It brings more people to the party. We have 15 minutes left in the show. And Dave is correct. When the going get tough, Billy Ocean was the artist who sang the song "When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going." I don't remember the movie that it was. I think it was part of a movie soundtrack. At very least, it was used in movies in the 80s and 90s. Now I can't get it out of my head. I'm hearing the song playing. When the going get okay. Okay, we got Big Eric. Big Eric says, if someone has high beams on, is it illegal to flash them to turn them off if you're getting blinded? So technically you're using your high beams illegally, but they're using their high beams illegally more. Listen, there's nowhere in law that I'm aware of that says if someone's blinding you with their headlights, then you are technically exempt temporarily for flashing your high beams because they're not going to see you waving out the window. And it's reasonable. It's reasonable to use your high beams to flick them on and off to let them know. It is one of our best communication options. It's likely the only communication option that is reasonable. There's really nothing else. So is it legal? Technically, no. Is it articulable and justifiable and reasonable? Yes. So that's what I do anyway. I don't think anybody is going to give you a hard time. We have... Thank you, statute. Oh, statute reflex. That is finally underscores or capitalization to separate words in your names. Very helpful. But I finally got statute reflex I got it. Okay. Mike Fernandez has a comment that just scrolled up. Let me scroll back to it. Where'd it go? Johnny says we're buffering. The internet is having some major issues today, although I don't know if that's the issue. Zoomer says cash grabs by police. What cash grabs by police? Are we talking about automated speed enforcement? Oh, God, I could talk about this all day. Not cash grabs. Speeding is illegal. If you choose to speed, you should get hammered by tickets because you're breaking the law. There's no justification. You can't blame someone for taking your money when you're offering it up by breaking the law. I think there should be not dash cameras, but automated speed enforcement cameras on every street, every stop sign, every intersection. You should not be allowed to get away with breaking the law. I know people say that's not fair, but it is fair. If you break the law, you deserve to be held accountable. Okay. So the statute reflex. Yes, I'm aware of the story that you're talking about. It's not they. It was one individual who with that firm who I remember reading articles about where he wasn't active because he was so busy he didn't need to, and they said, yeah, you have to go actually do some lawyering. But that was their business model. But it's very different now, from my understanding. But I do acknowledge the story you're referring to. Mike Fernandez says no left-hand turn between 3 and 6 p.m. I don't see the rest of it. Let me. I'm trying to scroll back. It's out of context. Your statement. What are you asking exactly about your no left-hand turn? If there's a sign that says no left-hand turn between 3 and 6, if there's no left-hand turn between 3 and 6, there's no left-hand turn between 3 and 6. It's an enforceable sign. Conditional signs, yeah. Franklin Benoit says, hello, Sean. How come law enforcement are attracted to nice-looking cars? They stand out. I don't know. Do you mean for tickets? I mean, my thing is, we're people buy nice looking cars to be looked at. They appreciate them and they're pretty and people look at them. If that pretty car happens to be breaking the law, it's the one you see. It stands out from the crowd. I just won a movie called The Playdate with Buddy. Oh God, I can't believe I can't remember either of their names. However, it's on. What is it on? Oh, come on. This is bugging me because one guy's got he's a very, very funny man, mall cop. What is his name? The Playdate. I'm pretty sure it's called The Playdate. The Playdate movie. Starring Alan Ritchson and Kevin James. And it's a phenomenally funny movie, at least I thought so, because I'm a child at times, and when I'm watching funny movies, that's the best time to be a child at heart. Anyway, what's the point? Why did I, oh yeah, so in this movie, they're all like, there's a mama mafia or something, and they all drive matching Toyota Sienna minivans, I think. Um, there's something to be said for blending in. Great car in this particular situation. So if you stand out, expect to be, and then you can't put it back in the box. Okay. Tracy says 3-car collision right outside Drive Test Center here yesterday. I felt bad for laughing. Yes, it might be a high risk scenario or location when you have a bunch of untrained, unqualified learners in one place. Use extra caution. This is my warning to all. Oh. So Riz Vision asked me earlier what movie universe would I want to be a character or superhero in. He says he'd be in the Stephen King universe, which is disturbing without even getting into it. But then he says, but if they were if that universe were full, he'd pick the Quentin Tarantino universe. I'm not a big Quentin Tarantino fan. I know that's an unpopular thing to say, but yeah. And then he says, then he changed his mind. He'll be part of the Three Stooges universe. A much better choice than Stephen King, at least. What is this? He says, is crossing the border preventing him from being stopped by police chasing me, or is that just happens in the movies? Yeah, this whole jurisdictional stuff where nobody continues into the next jurisdiction and you're scot-free. Maybe in some U.S. jurisdiction where police lose their authority across lines, like it depends on how they're sworn. In Ontario, there's no division. So you go across jurisdictions and even into other provinces in fresh pursuit, you can continue that pursuit. And obviously we'd be connecting over the air and telephone, and jurisdictional boundaries disappear because you're in hot pursuit, and you'd get the other authorities involved. But yeah, no, it's not getting away with anything. And thank you to Riz Vision, who says, Kevin James, it's on Prime, answering those questions that are tough. Okay. What do we have here? Tim Woosden, I think, says transports use left lanes a lot. It's times in a big hurry to get me where I need to go. I assume what he's trying to say. People violate all sorts of rules, but they are in violation. Sumi says, in Brampton, cars are being modified with crazy brake lights, like flashing colors, like billboards. You cannot project anything other than red or amber to the rear. So if they have colorful lights being projected, not allowed. We already addressed Zoomer in his allegation of cash grabs by the police. What do you call it? Okay. Tim says it's legal. I was told back when I did my transport training to use the left lane. Is that what you're talking about? No, HTA says otherwise. Maybe in an emergency situation or if there's only one lane available. But if you're in a multi-lane highway, the left 2 lanes are not permitted for left lane for sure, and the second lane we've been having discussion about, but it's in the HTA. So I think it's odd that you were taught otherwise. Lanra, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Why do Ontario police never give warnings, even when you explain yourself? Because explaining why you broke the law does not exonerate you from breaking the law. Now, Ontario police do give warnings. I've given many of them. It does not mean that it's okay. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable. The excuse was, but I really have to poo. I still give you a ticket. I followed a guy to the bathroom, let him go take care of his business while I wrote his 4 tickets. And then I gave it to him when he, finished wiping. So, I've never really explained it that way, but that's what happened. I hope he washed his hands. Okay, can I get a unnecessary noise ticket for exhaust that's legal but modified while parked? An unnecessary noise ticket, at least the HTA version, must be on the road. It's part of driving. If you're idling, you wouldn't get that. If you're sitting, I believe it has to be on the highway. Let me see the wording. Let me read the wording. Boom, boom, boom. I've got to start promoting this app. I think it's great. Noise. So Unreasonable or unnecessary noise, 75.4 of the HTA. A person having the control or charge of a motor vehicle shall not sound any bell, horn, or other signaling device so as to make unreasonable noise. And a driver of a motor vehicle shall not permit any unreasonable amount of smoke to escape from the motor vehicle, nor shall the driver at any time cause the motor vehicle to make any unnecessary noise. But this subsection does not apply to a motor vehicle of municipal fire department while proceeding to a fire or answering fires. It doesn't specify on the road, but it's an HTA offense. Thus, I'd have to read the expanded version of the HTA. Yes, that was good water. I do like me some good water. Okay, as opposed to the bad water. And when you have no water, any water is good water. Okay. Johnny says it was buffering. Do you stop at stop signs at shopping malls? Is this the Ontario Highway Traffic Act? This is from Smith Wealth. HTA does not govern stop sign use on private property. However, careless driving charges do apply on private property, and it is possible that you could get a careless driving charge for running a stop sign on private property because it's careless. You can also get stunt driving charges on private property. So depending where the officer or how the officer interpreted such said driving, then the driving could be charges late. But stop sign, just for running the stop sign, there's no simple charge. Okay, Blue 35 says to Lanray, I'm really bugged by the name. I have had 4 warnings for speed, donuts, and loud exhaust. Well, if you got warnings for donuts, you're very lucky because donuts constitute stunt driving, and you're lucky you still have your car. What do we have here? Mom Duha says, can police prosecute a hit and run if found later through dash cam? Police said they can't guarantee they will. Everything depends. They have a window opportunity to lay charges. The window for fail to remain for hit and run, I believe, is beyond that of 6 months. But listen, the insurance is 3 years. Let's see what I have to look it up. But at very least within 6 months, they'd be able to. I think they have longer for fail to remain, but I have to look it up. So if they have sufficient evidence to lay the charge, they lay the charge. And when I was in the office doing the detective-y stuff, yeah. You find the information okay. Northern Bear 7 says, the detour of big trucks was I witnessed a big rig take down a tree over road because of the road closure. Oh. Okay. Scrolling through. Johnny says, Smith Wealth, stop spamming. Yeah, it takes me a while to get to stuff because I got lots of platforms going on. They also apologize for spamming. And totally appreciate that you didn't know. Don't worry. Happens to the best of us. We all spam. No, we don't. We don't all actually spam. But anyway, if oncoming car, we talked about that. If you're on an off ramp at a red light, can you turn right turn lane? So this is from Sarah MP4. If you have 2 right turn lanes, have to be 2 right turn lanes, and there's no sign prohibiting right turns on red, then both right turn lanes could make right turns on the red. And so assuming you stop, you wait till it's clear and then proceed with caution into the appropriate lane. Omar Smith says, waiting for it to pop up on screen. Come on. So it's not legal to drive through a stop sign on private property, but it's legal even at low speeds under 10 kilometers. Huh? It's not. Okay. It could be considered careless driving to drive through a stop sign on private property. Now, if you're rolling through at 3, I think it would be hard to explain careless, but it would be, the offense of fail to stop cannot be laid. So they'd have to jump to careless, and then they'd have to be able to articulate why that was careless driving. So it's not legal or not legal. It's not good. Be safe. Is Omar Smith also on the other side as Smith Wealth? It is. It's the same person on 2 platforms now. Okay. What do we got here? Oh, interesting. That's what I thought. Imogenial says, unlikely that it's drawing too much power. You think it's why would my iPhone 14 Pro Max didn't crash? It just said, anyway, we're hoping for a patch. In the meantime, Jay says, are you being paid for this? Not exactly. I say not exactly because I'm paying for this. I do this as part of my service, giving back. Now, we have an organization. It's a not-for-profit. It's called bettertraffic.ca. It says so around the screen. Bettertraffic.ca is actually the Canadian organization for better traffic safety and education. And we are not being paid to be here, but we are trying to educate people to make roads safer. There you go. Can I hook my horn? Can I honk my horn at a crackle? Oh, can I? It's Pinocchio Step Pro says, can I honk my horn at a cracky riding his bike in the middle of the road and slowing traffic? Notifying the person under the influence, as you have suggested, crack cocaine. I'm going to assume that you are concerned for his safety, and that's why you want to be honking. Now, just hammering the horn and it would become excessive at some point. But notifying them that they should move over is not exactly illegal. It's not. It's okay. We're at an hour, and we're still talking. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And we're answering questions about traffic safety and traffic law and police stuff. Funny how that works. And if you are watching, please follow, please like, please share. We're on a bunch of different platforms. If you prefer YouTube, you can get me there at VoiceOver Cop. You can actually get links to all the social media by going to Ask a Traffic Cop. But all the social media accounts are VoiceOver Cop. You can do that. You can watch wherever you are, and then we would appreciate it. And if you ask questions, it makes it even better. We'll keep going for a while because we've got lots of questions that have come in on. Kes or Ses Vergara says, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I try, but I'm making a mess of it. Can I show a photo of ownership when pulled over? Original documents are now being stolen too. Now, okay, let's break it down because you're asking about ownership documents, the green documents, the registration of the vehicle. And yes, you can show photocopies of those. They have to be true copies. And that means front and back of the document must be represented. But you must show your original driver's license. You must show your original proof of insurance or a link to or at least an online version through a secure app on your phone. I carry everything in my wallet. I don't leave anything in my vehicle, not a photocopy, nothing. I don't want even envelopes from mail. I don't want anyone to know where I live. And if you leave evidence of where you live in your car, whether it be a photocopy of your insurance, a photocopy of your ownership, because you just want to make sure you have it, someone might find out where you live, and then they might be waiting for you one day. And I don't want that. I don't do that. I don't play like that. I don't play. What does that TV show used to say? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. AC3 says, hello, Sean. How are you? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Fufad says, I got a ticket for fail to sign registration and speeding, 70 to 60, but actual speed was 79. Can I defend it? Were you speeding? I mean, you got a ticket for fail to sign registration. That one will probably go away. You can probably say, I didn't know. Then you fixed it. Right? That's a throwaway. That's, I don't know. I didn't lay that charge unless someone was being a dink. But the fact that he reduced it suggests that you weren't being a dink. So I don't know why you got the extra. In any case, you can fight anything you want. Are you going to win? You got 9 under. So you went from having demerit points to no demerit points. 10 over. You have to be 16 kilometers over the posted limit in terms of charges to get demerit points. And if you care about demerit points, then you're already saving them. Can you fight it? Sure, but you need an actual defense. Were you speeding? And if you were speeding, any admission that would find you guilty will just mean you're wasting your day. That said, any conviction, whether it's 5 over, 2 over, 1 over, is a conviction for speeding, and that can affect your insurance. User apostrophe sent a rose. Thank you very much. Tanya LeBlanc followed. Thank you for the follow. Okay. Can you educate people that warnings 4-ways isn't a park anywhere button, please? That's from Oliver. Actually, no, it's from Olivier. Did I get that right? 4-ways are. I wrote an article about 4-ways because people think they're a superpower or a super privilege. And I'm just going to get a coffee. I'll just leave my car here and please don't ticket me or hit me or tow me, yeah, they're a button that should rarely be used. If you're at the side of the road because your vehicle is disabled, great. I hope your vehicle is disabled if you're using it. If you're driving slow because you don't know where you are, no. If it's raining, no. If it's snowing, no. No. People disagree with me. Now, the one driving with hazards on is acceptable is when you're a big rig going up a big hill and you want to make sure people behind you know that you are not traveling at the speed of traffic as everybody else because you can't physically go faster because you're traveling with 10 gazillion pounds trying to go up and you're doing the best you can. Other than that, I don't see a reason to use hazards. And tow truck drivers, when you're towing a vehicle, you don't need your flashers on anymore. You're just a vehicle that has a train behind it, appropriately lit. Flashers not required. People just like using the fish flash. The fish flash. Now, if you are stopped hooking up a car, that's when you need to have the fish flash on. NHK says, do cops get blinded by high beams too? Yeah, it's people. People, when light goes in your eyes, it's blinding. Doesn't matter what job you do. Sarah says, traffic cops, and has a sulking or sad emoji. I always get so nervous when I get pulled over, and 9 out of 10 times it's for something so silly. What kind of stuff? What is so silly? But the truth is, if you're doing nothing wrong, you shouldn't get nervous. But what is it that you know? 9 out of 10. First of all, the fact that you got pulled over 10 times, I want to know what you're doing. I'm joking. I'm trying to be funny. Okay, moving on. But I do want to know. Here we go. Sarah says, I got pulled over for suspected drunk driving, and I was just trying to get home after a beach day. So you're saying that your normal driving looks like drunk driving? We could always, talk about that. If that's why you're getting pulled over 9 out of 10 times, I'd say that there's something going on with your driving. Like, are you distracted? Or you just practiced? I mean, okay. I appreciate the question, but I really want to know what your driving looks like that someone thought you might be drunk. Is there anything that you can think of that might have been an indicator of an impairment, possibly, maybe? Okay. Pinocchio Stepbro says, no, man, police are immune to high beams. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, everybody's cool. Don't worry about it. We're having fun here. Two people arguing now. Don't argue. It's fine. Why did you leave policing? That's from Barry, who wants to know. I left policing for family reasons. Multifaceted reason. One, I was turning 50. Two, stuff going on at home that required me to be more physically present, and I now am. So I miss it terribly. Love the police and love my family over there. I got to visit them at the police chief's gala. That was amazing to see all sorts of people whom I have the utmost respect for. And I'm still a police ally. Still helping, still doing stuff like this. Okay. Oh, NHK wants to know if cars, sorry, try it again, rewind. Do cops stop cars for having their high beams on while on duty? Sure, it's an offense. So absolutely. Is it their highest priority offense? I mean, listen, someone with their high beams on could be drunk. It's an indicator that they're doing something wrong, so it's worthy of investigation. Tim Vooston says no for truck zones. Cool. I thought we were talking about left lanes. Thank you for correcting me as to what we were talking about. Battle Toad. Do the demerit points have classifications, levels of seriousness? The points do not. The convictions do for the purposes of insurance policies. So insurance companies will rate the convictions for serious or minor, or I think there's 3 or 4 levels. However, points are just points. They just accumulate, and the more you get, the worse it gets for you, not from your insurance company, but for the ministry telling you that you need to be better. That's the thing. What do we got here? Those intersections gathering where 2 cars driving crazy. I don't know what we're talking about there. If making a U-turn at a light and someone is trying to turn on a red at that intersection, who has the right of way? If making a U-turn at a light and someone is trying to turn on red, well, the U-turn, here's the regulations, or at least the way that you need to understand it. When you're turning in any direction, you must ensure that you can complete that turn in safety. If you are wrong and you end up colliding with somebody, you are making the error. Now, a right turn on a red, or a right turn in general, requires them to ensure it's safe and safe that they can continue through in safety. Likewise, the person making the U-turn must ensure that they can complete their movement in safety. You're probably going to meet in the middle, and you're probably both going to carry 50% fault. That would be my assumption. And if someone is doing it against a light or doing something really dumb, they will take on more of that responsibility. Okay. Andrew Lewis, on average, how many situations a day did you fear for your life, if any? I very rarely feared for my life, Andrew. That like when I was working on the job, no. I was always cautious. You should always have a general, paying attention and being head on a swivel kind of thing. But it's not about like I'm scared that I'm not going home today. Yeah. Even when I got hit by a car, I'm like, I was pretty chill. Can an e-scooter get pulled over for, let's say, speeding? Okay, let's say speeding. If an e-scooter is speeding, it is probably going more than 32 kilometers an hour. And if an e-scooter, or you're talking, we'll say an e-bike. So let's back it up because there's two different speed limits. If an e-scooter, which is a stand-up kick scooter, I'm assuming that's what we're talking about, then it's 24 kilometers an hour to be classified as an e-kick scooter. If it's doing 25 kilometers an hour, it's a motor vehicle and totally subject to speed limits. If it is a e-kick scooter with a seat, it's a motorcycle. So that is the rule. It's a bicycle or get the privileges of being a bicycle if it's not capable of exceeding 24 kilometers an hour. Thus, to be speeding, there's very few 20 kilometer, if any, 20 kilometer an hour zones. So if you're doing 30 in a 30, you're not speeding over the limit, but now you're in an illegal motor vehicle. If you were doing 35 or anything over the speed limits, okay, doing 60 in a 30, you're absolutely speeding and eligible for all of the motor vehicle charges, and there would be many. Because it's not just speeding at that point. It's unsafe motor vehicle, it's unregistered motor vehicle, it's unlicensed motor vehicle, it's an unlicensed, uninsured motor vehicle. Like there'd be a ton of stuff to lay. If you're talking about e-bike, the speed limit in order for it to get the benefits of being a bicycle is 32 kilometers an hour. And now, technically, it's not a speed limit, but a maximum capable speed on flat surface. Thus, if you are doing 60 on an e-bike, you're on a motorcycle. Hope that helps. If you got more, you want to discuss it further, let me know. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And I'm here to be your guide to the HTA, traffic safety, and policey stuff. So if you want to know more stuff and things, you should be following this channel. Now, I go live twice a week, 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is 9 p.m., although I cannot be here tomorrow night. Thus, I need to either go live during the day or do it on Thursday instead. Well, it remains to be seen. I also want to figure out this technologically, what the heck is that meme? Everyone hears it in their head right now. I did that on purpose. Anyway, I won't be here tomorrow night, but usually it's twice a week, and we will find a makeup session. We will do it. We got here. What are your 10 codes? That's from Eric Cartman. 10 codes weren't really a big thing with Toronto Police. We just plain speak. Many services across the nation use 10 codes. Now, 10-4, I think we're all familiar with. 10-7, 10-8 were common. 10-20 for where are you? What's your 20? But 10 codes really weren't popular. And everyone's got their own custom grouping of them. I never got 10-7, 10-8. I always got them confused, so I didn't use them. I am leaving now. I am in service, out of service. All right. But there's so many different other codes for another time. Andrew Lewis says, is he on Twitch? Doesn't look like he's reading this chat. But I just read your chat. I'm on everywhere. I'm everywhere. Okay. And thank you, NHK, for clarifying to Andrew that I was reading older messages. NHK says, cops love giving out stunt driving tickets. It's such a vague charge. Actually, it's very specific charge. The title stunt driving is vague. However, if you read the act and the regulations that support it, there's like 15 very, very specific charges. And I love them so much that I think I'm going to read them to you right now. Oops. Stunt driving, Ontario, OREG. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. So, under stunt driving, oh, look at that. They've got it broken down for Aggressive driving, not stunt driving, is speeding, tailgating, or following too closely, cutting off other drivers, or cutting in front of them, of cutting in front of them and then slowing down, refusing to yield the right of way, honking repeatedly for no reason, running red lights, excessive lane changes, or weaving through traffic, passing too close to cyclists, stopping on a pedestrian crosswalk at an intersection, stopping on a pedestrian. Oh, stopping on a. Okay, not at, but on. But this is what I was looking for. Stunt driving and street racing. Let's talk about it. Stunt driving includes 40 kilometers per hour or more over the speed limit on roads with the speed limit less than 80, 50 kilometers per hour or more over the speed limit, driving in a way that prevents other vehicles from passing, intentionally cutting off another vehicle, intentionally driving too close to another vehicle, pedestrian, or fixed object, drivers that are doing 150 kilometers an hour anywhere. And they went specifically to identify that this applies anywhere in the province, including sections of freeways with limits of 110 kilometers an hour. So if you're doing 150 and a 110, yes, you're doing 40 over, but you are stunt driving. You have street racing that includes two, which is part of stunt driving, two or more vehicles driving in a way that indicates the drivers are competing, chasing, changing lanes repeatedly at high rate of speed while weaving through traffic. And this is not complete, oddly enough. I don't know why they didn't complete the other stuff. Having someone in your trunk qualifies as stunt driving. Intentionally losing traffic in a turn is stunt driving. Not operating the vehicle from the driver's seat. So if you're moving over to slide into the passenger seat and try and do some weird shit like that, that's also illegal. So driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to spin or cause it to circle without maintaining control over it. People always say, well, I'm in total control as I do donuts. No, you're not. There's driving motor vehicle with person in trunk, driving motor vehicle while driver's not sitting in the driver's seat, driving a motor vehicle, we talked about that. Jackrabbit start, jumping the light just before or just after it turns green in order to jump your queue and not give the opportunity to the other oncoming traffic to move. There's a ton of stuff. See, there's the stunt, the jackrabbit start indicate is this. It says they're driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to drive without justification. No, that's not what I was saying. Or making a left turn where the driver is stopped at an intersection controlled by a traffic control signal system in response to a circular red indication. At least one vehicle facing the opposite direction is similarly stopped in response to a circular red indication. And the driver executes a left turn immediately before or after the system shows a circular green indication in both directions, and in a manner that indicates an intention to complete or attempt to complete the turn before the vehicle facing the opposite direction is able to proceed straight through the intersection in response to the circular green. Isn't it great? I love how plain speak all these laws are written in. I get what it means. Do you? I mean, I think you do, because you're watching the show and you just heard me blab on about it. So there's a ton of the things, but it's all written down. So to say it's vague couldn't be less accurate, because it's incredibly detailed. Okay. But I did like giving out stunt driving tickets, because all that stuff is dangerous. And the person who does that stuff should be held accountable. Your mother, or it's actually your mother, you are mother, or maybe it's you are mother. Anyway, if I get pulled over without my wallet, but have a picture of my license in my phone, is it okay? Legally, no. Could the officer accept it as they having a day that they go, we totally get it. It's cool. Officer discretion deployed. It's officer discretion. It's not the law. The law says you got to have it. You got to surrender it for reasonable inspection of a police officer upon demand. But the photo, some officers will take it. I wouldn't. It's not your license. Photoshop exists. AI exists. No. And there are lots of ways where I can verify the information without your license. But now you're making me work, which means you get a ticket. I mean, I'm simplifying it, but you have responsibilities as a driver. Just do the stuff, or don't drive. And if you get caught, you never know. Reckless moron, legit, that's their username, got pulled over and truck was deemed unsafe and got court date for fines. What sort of fines for having a truck deemed unsafe for the road? What are the fines? Let's have a look, because I don't know offhand, but I'm going to assume it's fines. Was it commercial or non-commercial? Just reading back. Deemed unsafe. That's the wrong thing. Unsafe. Refuse. Operate unsafe vehicle. No. That's not the one I'm looking for. Operate unsafe. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. 84 sub 1. Stand by. HTA 84 sub 1. Let's look for the consequences. So many clickety clicks to find the answer to this question. There's too much reading. There we go. We'll ask the book of knowledge to sort it out for me. No, it's not. This is incorrect. No. No set fine, dum-dum. I'm talking to ChatGPT now. It's like $110. I'm like, no, it's not. Part 3 summons. Fine up to $20,000, no demerit points. But I think that's for commercial. Either way, it's a lot. It's no bueno. Okay. What's the law on tires outside of the fenders? It's not allowed. You have to be covered by fender or fender flare and a mud flap. If you don't, that's $110 fine. Okay. Moving on. Nellie's Firehouse Gaming. How you doing? Nellie's Firehouse Gaming says people need to slow down and drive according to the road conditions. 3 firefighters in the hospital after getting struck by a vehicle in Durham. Oh, damn. Hope they're doing okay. Please send them my best if you're in contact with them. Brandon says, hello, Sean and all. Sorry for being. I was testifying in court. What were you testifying about? I want to know because he is chef. Master plan of driving diabolical deeds. I don't know. I want to know. Also, are you in town again? Are you going to Florida? What's your story? Trizzy says, what happens then? Trizzy, what happens if I drive my mom's car and I'm not under the insurance and the car itself has insurance and then I get into a collision that's not my fault? What happens then? Do you live with mom? Because this is a big deal. If you're driving and you live with mom, insurance could deny your claim if you're not on the insurance. They can always deny the claim if they determine that you're not supposed to be driving the car. But if you borrow mom's car and you don't drive with them, you're not required to be under the insurance. If you're a frequent flyer of the driving of mom's car, then you should be on the insurance. Thus, if you're not, they could say you're in trouble. Not at fault suggests the other party is going to be at fault anyway, but it's really a good insurance question. Just in generalities, because I can't speak to specifically your situation. I don't know how that's going to play out. If you live with your with person and you use their car, be on the insurance. It's not expensive to be a secondary driver. It helps you develop your own history with an insurance company and increase your experience behind the wheel with them. So they give you a better price when you actually want to get your own car. But if you're not doing it the way you're supposed to, they can always deny it. Stuff. The liability wouldn't be so much of an issue because the liability was the other party's side, but there'd be money there. But they could say, I'm not fixing mom's car. The insurance company could choose not to, but then I guess, I don't know. Insurance question. That's going to go there because now we're do the right thing. All right, let's go here. Boom, boom, boom. Do insurance companies have preferred towing companies for vehicles stalled on highways? Always wondered. It depends where you are in Ontario. There's actually a plan where they just kind of do a round robin and they have to be an approved towing company. And then they go through and say, okay, first it's your turn, then it's your turn. It's got to be fair for everybody. We give out awards for participation. City of Toronto has contract tows. So there's companies that bid there's protections for you as the consumer to ensure that you get a regulated rate. So it's always better to use a approved tow. Mutzi says, or wants to know if they can report a bus driver. Sorry, can a school bus driver report a car that runs the lights? Yes. In fact, automated enforcement is legal in Ontario, although it's not deployed in every region. Where they have cameras. If you run a light, not run the talking about run the bus lights or run a stoplight. So if they have a camera installed, then the camera system would capture it for passing the school bus. They can report anything they want, but will charges be laid? Depends. It's unlikely. What do we got here? Oh, Johnny says you need a license plate number and a type of vehicle and as much information as possible. That's for reporting. But reporting may not lead to charges. That's really what's important to know. Eric, thanks for the follow. Insurgent, share the live. Thank you very much. Tim says it's like you're a cop everywhere. Okay. Driving without insurance. I don't see the original question from Shalom, who says, okay, then Tracy answered the question, but we're talking about the consequence of driving without insurance. It says here, I'm always scared when my insurance or registration is expired. I heard the fine is huge. Insurance, if your insurance is expired, you have no insurance. That's as Tracy said, $5,000 to $25,000 and up to 6 months in jail. Don't let your insurance lapse. Make sure you have insurance. And then when you have your registration, that's $110 fine. But you should be registered, and your license should be valid, because driving without a license is also a problem. Okay. Light bar from OK122. What do you want to know about it? Light bar. Light bar. So you can have a light bar and you can't use it on the road. It's not legal, but you can certainly use it for off-road, and that's what it's intended for. You can have fog lights, no more than 4 lights on at a given time to the front, and those lights have to be white or yellow. And as our magical melody, the mechanic, says, you can have white headlights, you can have yellow fog lights. Nelly's Firehouse Gaming says, can you get fined for failing to slow down for hazardous road conditions? Well, careless driving is going, driving beyond the speed of what's safe. There's another wording I think would be appropriate, but effectively, yeah, if you're going so fast, road conditions. Was it road conditions? Let me driving conditions. I got to do a fuzzy search. Condiciones. I'm looking for wording, but I would, if someone was speeding in the snow, it's going to be careless, in my opinion. But it depends on what you're seeing. But there's definitely a charge that's something like operate a vehicle unsafe or contrary to what is it? What is the wording? I'm having a mental moment where I cannot think of it. I will think of it, or someone will tell me what it is, because that's how we work. We support each other. What is it? I'll find it later. Okay. Jarv wants to know where I'm from. I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Oh. Okay, so Brandon was, in terms of what did Brandon witness, is I witnessed a motor vehicle driving erratically that couldn't maintain its lane, called 911, told the police the driver was pulled over and charged with DUI, drive under influence. And yes, I'm in town for another week. Cool. I'd love to try and connect while you're in town. We've been putting this off, or I messed up meeting up with you several times. I did get together with Akela Draconis this week. Last week? What day is it? Today's Tuesday. The weekend. Okay. Friday? I don't remember now. Monday. What day? Friday. I met up with him on Friday. Yes. Okay. I have to think about that. The days, they blend together. Okay. When you need a tow, what is this? This is Gwen Johnston says, when you need a tow, when it pertains to a possible insurance company, your insurance provider often will give you a towing company. If you are involved in a motor vehicle collision, you can certainly use an approved or preferred tow company. So if you are In a collision, you can call your insurance company and they'll tell you who to deal with. However, if it's in the middle of the road and the police are saying get off the road and the police order you a tow or, eh, then you're using the tow provider provided and the insurance company is going to deal with it because the police are ordering you off the road 'cause it's not safe. If you're in a situation where your car broke down and you'd really like to use like CAA because you're a member and instead the police say you got to move it, well, know that the CAA will actually reimburse you in that situation for paying a third party tow company. So there's all sorts of things to talk about, but they're just things. What is this? Just wanted to remind you. Dominic says, just wanted to remind you that God is good and he loves you. Have a good day. It's always nice when we get these real positive messages, from Dominic Gomez Guerra. I didn't pronounce that properly, I'm sure. Odd. So Omar Smith says, what if you put up a stop sign on private land and I drove through it? Is it careless driving too? But Plaza is private property as well. So I don't get it. Careless driving can be laid on private property. Doesn't matter who owns the property. If it's careless driving, it could be enforced. Would it be enforced? It depends on what the situation is. Okay. Sheriff says, okay, I'm from Alberta. I want to get a catless downpipe, and I'm worried about how sticky the cops will be. In Alberta, I think they'd be very sticky. I don't think you can make any modifications like that. I think you'd be in a world of hurt. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it in Alberta. I wouldn't do it here. What do we got here? Okay. Scrolling. Talked about that. Waylon wants to know if Etobicoke Towing is a reputable tow company. I don't know them. Maxim says, do you chase bikers over 150 kilometers? No, they probably crash on their own. I would never try and push a speeding motorcycle to go faster because that's what they do. And then when they try and make a turn, they tend to crash and they tend to get really hurt, if not. And then we get into trouble with a lot of paperwork. So it's generally not worth it. Plus, we just radio up ahead and say, hey, when you see the streak coming by, be ready because they're going to stop. We're going to catch them. Just a matter of time. And now we have helicopters and other ways of doing it. They just caught a speeding motorcycle in York and they went to hide in an underground and they got him there. Love it. Oh, Nellie's Firehouse Gaming says, unless you're me, I can use green strobes on my light bar on the road if I'm responding. Yes, that's different. You're talking about signalized flashy bliblobs. But I was talking about off-road lights, different situation, different lights. But yes, you be you. Cameron Aziz got a ticket for over speeding. I got $270 fine and 4 demerits. I challenge it in court. If I go early resolution, they remove my points. Sounds like a question, but it was just more like a statement, or it sounds like a statement, but it was more of a question. So here's the situation. You got charged. I don't know the specific speed you were doing, but it was more than 40 kilometers an hour. Over this. Let's decode this. I have the tools, the technology. What do we got here? We said you said it was a $270 fine. I'm going to approximate you as doing 36 kilometers over. For demerits, $271. If that was you, you can go to early resolution. They can give you an offer. You can choose to take it or not take it. Will they drop it to no demerit points? I doubt it. Maybe they'll drop it down to 3 demerit points, but hey, I don't know. You might get really lucky. If they give you a deal and you say, that's not a deal that I'm interested in, you can certainly go to court if you wish, and you might get the same deal or better in court. You may get no deal. I don't know. But if you're guilty, you're just assuming they're going to be nice to you. That's assault. That's what the negotiation is. What's the likelihood that you're going to get convicted regardless of what you say to them? You're going to get convicted, I would assume, unless there's some technicality. You're probably going to be held accountable. Just saying. It may suck, but it is what it is. But you're entitled to your day in court. What do we got here? Do y'all we talked about this. Are side mirrors mandatory? I have a Jeep, and when I take the doors off, I have no mirrors. I would suggest that you use what's it called? Door mirror relocation kit. That's what I had on my TJ. You take it off the door and you relocate it to a mount that's on the hinge for the windshield. That said, you need to have one mirror on your vehicle. That can be the rear windshield mounted mirror that covers it legally, as long as you have a clear view to the rear. But is it a good idea? Law aside, seeing more is better. It's safer. So relocation kit for mirrors. Look at the Broncos. The Broncos did it right. Take the doors off. The mirrors are still attached to the vehicle. Just relocate them. That's the best thing. It's a very minimal investment. Okay, it might be $100 or more, but it's still minimal compared to a $110 ticket every time you do it. And it's you're not guaranteed to have a $110 ticket because it's not strictly illegal. One mirror to the rear is legal. However, how many cops know that? They might pull you over. They might give you a hard time. You have to explain it. If you get charged, even if you're right, you have to defend it. It's a pain in the butt, and it's not safe. Is colored tint on a rear window illegal? Colored tint on rear window. So rear passenger rear window, you can have colored tint. There's no regulation as to how dark it is, as long as you have clear view to the rear by mirrors. So, or clear view to the rear. So if your rear window is completely pitch black, you have to have side mirrors that give a clear view. Free time 649. If the emergency vehicle is on the opposite lane direction, do you still stop or keep going? Depends on the type of route, divided or undivided. Undivided highway, meaning a painted line divides directions, then you have to stop. If it's a division by way of a barrier, grassy knoll, tree line thing, it's a divided highway like the 401, then you don't. Jarv says, I got a plate cover and 5% tint all around my car and haven't got a ticket, but some cops have. Talked to me about it before. Like, lucky you're not speeding, otherwise I'd have ticketed you for them. You are just getting lucky because maybe you're a really nice guy or have great teeth when you smile, but I would charge you for the ticket. Like, I would have charged you for license plate cover if it prevented me from seeing anything. And 5% tint means 95% of light is being blocked. You're only getting 5% light through. I would take your license plates and seize them because your vehicle's unsafe for the road. So you would not have had that response with me or many traffic officers. If you're getting a general pull over, I'm just checking you out because I'm curious if you're doing anything illegal, but that officer is not traffic minded, then you got warnings because you didn't have a real traffic cop. Let's see here. Boop-a-doo. See, I was right. I said 36 over. That's what Cameron Aziz confirmed. I said 36, right? I said 36 over. See, bang on, bang on. That Sagrit Mazda 2.5 wants to know if he'll get a ticket for punching a cop. No, you're going to get beaten up and charged for assaulting a police officer. You punch a cop. I love when really stupid questions come in. You punch a cop, you're going to get arrested. That's not a ticket, my friend. That's arrested. And you're probably going to be very banged up and bruised, maybe visiting the hospital. I mean, it depends. Probably pepper sprayed. I mean, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Okay. This is Jarv says, I understand that the plate cover, but so many people in Alberta have tint like I don't think cops even care. In Alberta, it's possible that they don't care, but Alberta certainly does. Because they've talked about any modifications being ticketable. So depends where you at. Icy says, what happens if I don't pay my traffic tickets? They don't let you renew your license. And you're driving without a license. And oddly enough, if you have no license, you're also insured. So bad things happen if you don't pay your tickets. Oh, funny. Well, anyway, I like that. Hi, Sean. Have you heard the good news? What epic life enthusiast is the good news? Let me know. And Brandon says, my neighbor's son in Florida was caught doing 117 miles per hour, ran from the police, and they showed up at his house. That's a good way to, yeah. You don't run from the police in the States because that's different. Policing is different there. You don't run. I mean, it's bad. I'm assuming they took him down hard and dragged him. I don't know what they do. I want to know, Brandon. Okay. Omar Smith is really hung up over stop signs. So he says, Sean, if I randomly make a stop sign and place it on a pole in my private land, 20 acres of land, and I drove through it and didn't stop, you mean to tell me I could get a ticket from my stop sign? If you were driving, forget the stop sign. There's no stop sign. You were doing donuts on your 20-acre plot of land. No stop sign in sight. Stunt driving. We could seize your vehicle. You could suspend your license. You would be subject to all the consequences as if you were stunt driving on the road. because stunt driving and careless driving apply to private property on your private property. Now, the reality is no one's sitting watching you do donuts on your 20-acre plot of land. So you probably wouldn't get caught, nor would anyone really give a crap. But if there were complaints, if the police happened to notice it, if they were concerned for the safety of you or others, you would be eligible for the ticket. And that's the big thing. Epic Life Enthusiast says, the speed cameras are gone. I think that's terrible news, my friend. I honestly don't think that this is good. I think this is going to be quite tragic. I think I've already seen people exceeding the speed limit in a ridiculous way in school zones, in community safety, way too fast, just because the law or the cameras are turned off. I think the cameras should stay on and monitor the speeds, and I think we'll see some crazy numbers because people only slow down because they have a risk of being caught electronically or by police. And we know the police are overworked and understaffed, so they're going to do what they do. And it's going to be very sad. And we're going to have some very, families that are grieving, and it is what it is. Interesting. How can I protect myself when approached by a threat with a weapon? Legally, you can use as much force as necessary in Canada to protect yourself from being harmed, from being hurt. Now, you have to articulate what you did, and you are responsible for excessive force. So if someone, has a threatening gesture and you decide to, beat them within an inch of their life, you're probably getting charged and possibly convicted for that excessive use of force. But if you are being attacked and you fend off said attacker, you're probably going to be okay. But what do you mean? Like, are you looking for, like, I would say train in martial arts? It's a great thing. Disengage whenever possible and get out of that situation because you don't want it. It's not like the movies. People very rarely do a wonderful job. What is this? Omar, you're really hung up on signs. Do signs apply on private land? We've talked about this. You're not picking up what I'm putting down, Omar. The signs don't mean anything, but the driving behavior is interpreted and observed and interpreted and enforceable. Hope that helps. What is this? And yes, some signs do you'd be, anyway. Yeah. Question from Epic Life Enthusiast. If a person is parked on private property and refuses to leave, other than calling parking enforcement, is there anything I can do? Will I be able to call a towing company directly and tow the car? Actually, if you have no parking signs and the bylaw is clearly listed, then you can call towing or parking enforcement. And not only can they issue tickets on your behalf, but they can also tow the vehicle. Here's the kicker, though. You have to pay for the tow. You have to guarantee that either you pay in advance or you either pay in advance or you have to pay one way or the other, which sucks because you want it off the property. The other person should be responsible. Now, some towing companies might say, "Oh, we'll take it because it's a valuable car, and we have no concerns that it's going to be claimed." But if it was a beater, which is more often than not a dumped vehicle, then you have to pay. Okay. Thank you, Tracy, for explaining to Lucky the situation. What is this? Karar says, if I were to run a red light in front of a cop but get flashed by a red light camera, what happens? Well, you're probably getting 2 tickets, one in the mail, possibly by the electronic system, and definitely one by the police officer that pulled you over and charged you. And the one that has the more significant consequences, the one from the police officer. And I would say you probably have to deal with that one first and then deal with the one on the camera later. And if you've been convicted by the one on the police or you paid it, they'd likely drop the other one. Jarv says, so you're saying it's easier to run from you guys in Canada than the US? In the States, they probably bring the entire state down on you. 20-car chase followed by a very bumpy ride to the police station. But they could it's different. Policing's different there. We're very friendly here. Is it easy to run? It's different. If you look at the police in the States, they will just ram you. They'll cause your car to flip. The consequences is I want to say irrelevant. In Canada, we are differently minded. I'm not saying one way is better than the other. I kind of like the idea of catching the bad guy at any consequence. But I also have respect for life, and I don't want anyone to get hurt. Cold Laker, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. They say hello, have an awesome day. You too. DJ says, what happens if someone breaks into your house and you catch them? That's going to be a bad day for somebody. Depends on the house. Depends on the person. Ryan says, if they use a pew pew, can you use a pew pew back? It's a complicated answer. You have to have your pew pew stored lawfully, separate from ammunition in the appropriate container. You'd have to be able to articulate how you access that. It's complicated. There's other systems of winning, but I think you do what you got to do. Can cities use cameras to publish owner of speeding vehicle, or is that infringement? So camera systems to identify the vehicle owner and then publish it, I think that'd be great. And Ryan quite appropriately says you can't outrun a radio. What's the consequence of a handheld communications ticket? That's using your cell phone while driving. $615 in Ontario. That's not fun. Then you're talking about a 3-day suspension on your first conviction, 7-day suspension on your second or subsequent. Aaron Cox says, FAFO should be the way to go. I agree. No, I'm not familiar with that one, Jarv. I don't know them. Okay, it is an hour and 45 minutes into the stream, and I have stuff and things I need to do, but it has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you guys. I will be back next Tuesday at 10 a.m. for sure. I'm going to try another day this week because I'm not available tomorrow. So it'll be Thursday or Friday. I'll come in and I'll do another live, whether it be day or night, I don't know. We'll see. The schedule is a little bit busy this weekend. As we approach the holiday season, there's lots to say and do. That said, I will be creating content, and I look forward to being back with you again soon. Follow me on all platforms, VoiceOver Cop, and please go to YouTube. Follow me there most importantly, because I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers. We're like 956 right now. So close, I can taste it. Anyway, I'm going to go investigate what's going on with my interwebs. Have a great day. Drive safe, drive sober, and smile. It looks good on you. I'm going to press this button. I didn't have any dad jokes, so we're just gonna move on. I'm not gonna do dad jokes today. It's a sad day. My mug says dad jokes loading, but there was an issue with Cloudflare, and it just never happened. Happy birthday again to Mickey Mouse and the folks at Disney. It's his birthday today, and we're mouse tears. We're fans of the mouse. Big Disney people. I mean, I'm 6'5". I'm a big Disney person. Nothing wrong with that. Have a great day. I like the song.